Daniel found the letter on a quiet evening, placed neatly on his desk as if it had been waiting for him. He didn't remember putting it there. In fact, he didn't remember seeing it before at all. The envelope was old, slightly worn at the edges, with his name written clearly on the front. He stared at it for a moment, a strange feeling settling in his chest. Something about it felt important but also unsettling. Slowly, he picked it up, turning it over in his hands. There was no return address, no date, nothing that could explain where it came from, just his name. He hesitated before opening it, his fingers pausing at the edge as if they already knew something he didn't. After a few seconds, he finally unfolded the paper inside. The handwriting was familiar, too familiar. "If you're reading this, you forgot again." Daniel froze. His eyes moved across the line once more, trying to understand what it meant. A small laugh escaped him, but it didn't feel real. "This doesn't make sense," he muttered. He kept reading. "Don't trust your memory. It's not working the way you think." The words felt heavier with every line. Daniel sat down slowly, the letter still in his hands, his mind racing to find an explanation. He tried to remember writing something like this, but nothing came. Just empty space where a memory should have been. He looked at the handwriting again, studying every detail carefully. It matched his. Exactly. His grip tightened slightly. "Why would I write this?" he whispered. The room around him felt quieter now, almost too quiet. And for the first time, Daniel realized something that made his stomach drop. If the letter was telling the truth, then the one thing he trusted the most, his own memory, might already be failing him. Daniel read the letter again, slower this time, as if the meaning might change if he gave it more attention. But the words remained the same, clear and unsettling. "You won't remember writing this. That's the problem." He leaned back in his chair, trying to steady his thoughts, but the confusion only grew stronger. His mind searched for anything familiar, any moment that could explain this, but it found nothing. Just blank spaces where memories should have been. He looked around the room, suddenly aware of how ordinary everything seemed. His desk, his books, the faint light coming through the window. Nothing felt out of place, yet something clearly was. He returned his focus to the letter. "There are things you keep forgetting, important things, and every time you forget, you make the same mistake again." Daniel's chest tightened slightly as he read the line. A quiet unease settled inside him, the kind that didn't disappear easily. "I wrote this to help you. Follow what I say, even if it doesn't make sense." His eyes moved to the bottom of the page, where the signature confirmed what he was already beginning to accept. It was his. There was no doubt about it. Daniel placed the letter on the table and ran a hand through his hair, his thoughts moving faster now. "This is impossible," he said quietly, but the evidence was right in front of him. Either someone had gone to great lengths to copy his handwriting perfectly, or he had written this himself and completely forgotten about it. Both possibilities felt equally disturbing. He picked up the letter again, his attention drawn to one final line he hadn't fully noticed before. It was written slightly darker, as if more pressure had been used. "Start by checking the drawer. Don't ignore this." Daniel slowly turned his head toward the drawer beside him. For a moment he didn't move, because deep down, he wasn't sure if he was ready to find out what was inside. Daniel kept staring at the drawer for a few seconds, his mind caught between curiosity and hesitation. The letter was still in his hand, the words echoing in his thoughts, pushing him forward even when he wasn't sure he wanted to move. Slowly, he reached out and pulled the drawer open. Inside, everything looked normal at first. A few scattered papers, some old receipts, nothing that immediately stood out. But as he moved things aside, something caught his attention. A small stack of folded papers placed neatly at the back. His fingers tightened slightly as he picked them up. They looked just like the letter he was holding. Same paper, same handwriting visible through the folds. His heartbeat picked up without him realizing it. He unfolded the first one carefully. "You didn't listen last time." The words hit him instantly. He opened another. "You ignored this and everything got worse." Another. "This This is your last chance to understand. Daniel felt a cold wave move through him as he quickly went through the rest. Every page carried the same message, written in slightly different ways, but all pointing to the same truth. He had been here before. He had read something like this before, and somehow he had forgotten every single time. He leaned back slowly, the paper slipping slightly in his hands. "This doesn't make sense," he whispered, but the evidence was impossible to ignore now. These weren't random notes. They were warnings. From himself. For himself. His eyes returned to the original letter, searching for something he might have missed. And then he saw it. A line written at the very bottom, smaller than the rest. "The picture will help you remember." Daniel frowned slightly, confusion mixing with fear. "What picture?" he murmured. But before he could think further, his eyes shifted instinctively toward the wall across the room, toward a frame he had seen countless times but never truly questioned. Daniel stood up slowly, his eyes fixed on the picture hanging on the wall. It was an ordinary photograph, something he had passed by every day without giving it much thought. But now it felt different, important. He walked closer, his steps careful, almost hesitant. The image showed him standing beside a woman, both of them smiling in a way that felt natural, genuine. There was warmth in that moment, something real. But as he stared at it longer, a disturbing realization began to settle in. He didn't remember her. Not her name, not her voice, not a single moment they had shared. The smile on his own face in the picture felt unfamiliar, like it belonged to someone else entirely. "Who are you?" he whispered, his eyes fixed on her face. A strange pressure built in his chest, something between confusion and fear. He looked closer, searching for anything that might trigger a memory, but nothing came. Just silence. Then slowly he noticed something else. A small mark at the corner of the frame, barely visible unless you looked closely. His hand moved toward it, his fingers brushing against the edge. It wasn't just a mark. It was writing, very small, almost hidden. He leaned in, focusing carefully until the words became clear. "She's the reason." Daniel stepped back slightly, his breath catching for a moment. "The reason for what?" he said under his breath. His mind raced, trying to connect everything. The letters, the warnings, the memory gaps. And now this, the woman in the picture. Something about it felt too connected to ignore. He turned back toward the desk, grabbing the letters again, his thoughts moving faster now. If he had written all of this, then there had to be something he was trying to protect himself from, or someone. And the more he thought about it, the more one question began to form clearly in his mind. What had she done that made him forget her completely? Daniel stood still for a moment, the letters in his hand, the picture on the wall, and the questions in his mind all colliding at once. Nothing felt stable anymore. Every answer only created more confusion. He walked back to the desk, his movements slower now, more careful, as if the truth might break if he rushed it. He spread the letters out in front of him, reading them again, searching for something he had missed. One line caught his attention, one he hadn't focused on before. "You asked me to make you forget." Daniel's breath slowed. He read it again. The words didn't change. They didn't feel unclear. They felt final. "I asked to forget," he whispered. His eyes moved quickly through the other letters, looking for confirmation. And there it was, written in different ways across multiple pages. "You couldn't live with it. You said forgetting was easier. You made this choice." Daniel stepped back slightly, his thoughts becoming heavier with every second. This wasn't something that happened to him. This was something he had chosen. But why? His eyes shifted back to the picture. The woman, the smile, the unknown connection that now felt dangerous instead of comforting. He moved closer again, studying her face more carefully, trying to force something to come back. A memory, a feeling, anything. But all he felt was a growing sense of unease. Then Then suddenly something flickered in his mind. Not a full memory, just a fragment. A voice, a moment, raised tones, pain, regret. It disappeared as quickly as it came, leaving him breathless. Daniel grabbed the edge of the table to steady himself. "What did I do?" he said quietly, and for the first time he realized the real fear wasn't forgetting. The real fear was remembering. Daniel sat down slowly, the weight of everything finally settling in. The letters were still in front of him, silent but undeniable. He read the last one again, the one that felt different from the rest. "If you reach this point, it means you're close to remembering, but you need to decide if you really want to." His hands trembled slightly as he held the paper. The room felt smaller now, the air heavier, as if even the walls knew something he didn't. His eyes moved toward the picture again, but this time he didn't step closer. He stayed where he was, because part of him understood something now. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't something he could simply fix. He had erased something on purpose, something so painful that forgetting felt like the only escape. He closed his eyes for a moment, trying to listen to what was left inside him, and then quietly another fragment surfaced. A memory, broken but clearer than before. The same woman, tears in her eyes, his own voice filled with anger, words he couldn't fully hear but could somehow feel. Regret followed immediately after, heavy and sharp. Daniel opened his eyes quickly, pulling himself back before the memory could grow stronger. His breathing became uneven as he looked down at the letter again. The final line stood out more than anything else. "If you remember, you will have to live with it again." The choice was in front of him now. He could keep reading, keep searching, and bring everything back. Or he could stop, leave things the way they were, forget again. Daniel stared at the paper for a long moment before slowly placing it back on the table. Then he leaned back in his chair, his expression calm but distant, because sometimes the truth isn't something you're ready to face, and sometimes forgetting feels easier than living with what you've done.